The umbrella acacia tree lives in the savanna. What problem does the plant face there? Although the weather is mild, it lacks water and drought threatens the plants there. What adaptation do the umbrella acacia use to survive in these environmental conditions? We will start with the structural adaptation. It's observed that umbrella acacia structure leaves, roots, and trunk. What do you observe in the leaves? Big or small? Your opinion, is there a link between the small size of the leaves and the lack of water? The smaller the leaves, the less water the plant loses, so it can endure drought. You know that the acacia root is named taproot and it grows deep downward. Let's see how it grows. Here is the soil and the root goes deeply. The root of acacia tree goes deeply in the soil to search for the water. Why it happens? Why do you think? An environment which lacks water and the big deep root may be to find water deep down. Exactly, you are right. The deep root can absorb water that's found deep under the earth, like groundwater. Have you read in the text, the acacia tree is like camel hump? Do you remember what a camel hump does? It helps camels store water and fat. This is exactly what an acacia tree trunk does. It stores water. This means each part of the acacia structure helps it to endure the lack of water and drought. We know also that there are animals that will look for food and they may feed on the acacia tree leaves. But can they simply? Most of these organisms cannot even reach its leaves due to its great height. But giraffes may reach it. But can they eat the leaves? This is how the acacia tree leaves look like. You see what's surrounding it? Leaves are surrounded by sharp spines guarding the hungry mouth. But you may notice also another defensive way, which proves that the acacia really has behavioral adaptation. That's right. When an animal tries to eat the leaves of the acacia tree, it begins to produce poison that makes the leaves taste terrible. It then sends bad odor in the wind to acacia trees nearby, telling them to start making the same poison. We reached important results. Acacia has small leaves to prevent losing water, deep strong roots to find and search for water, and finally the trunk stores water. But less water means less food for this environment animals that may want to eat this tree here. The acacia tree adapts to protect itself by surrounding its leaves with the spines and produce a poison and a bad odor that drives long animals away. Using the same way, let's analyze the kapok tree. Read carefully the rest of the text and observe the images of the kapok tree. Then underline two things. Firstly, its environmental conditions. Secondly, its structural and behavioral adaptations that can help it survive. Let's start analyzing. The kapok tree is much longer than the plants around it, so it can get enough sunlight. Its leaves are hand-shaped like, which protect leaves from falling down easily. But how? The holes between the leaves allow wind move gently through the leaves. What evidence have you gathered about the kapok tree structural adaptation? It depends on wind to carry its fluffy yellow seeds across the forest. But why? What do you think? Where these seeds are spread across the forest and in soil, what would happen? More trees will grow, right? The kapok also invites bats to come through the scent of flowers carried by wind. But why bats? Remember what we read earlier in this unit's introduction? One last thing is that due to the rainy environment, its soil is soggy soil. I know. Let's look how its roots look like. The kapok tree stays firmly rooted thanks to the large white roots called buttress roots, even though they are not planted deeply in the ground. The roots begin high on its trunk, not deep to earth, like the acacia, as there is no need to go down seeking for water. Remember, there is always water. It needs what keeps it upright. That's why its root named buttress roots begin high on its trunk.
تقدر تتابع كل دروسك على تطبيق مدرستنا بلس. مدرستنا، المستقبل يبدأ الآن.